Do you have a radio? Good evening, Dicers. This is KM 101.60, where you get all the greatest music from Dice City. Hope you brought something warm to drink tonight, because I have a little history. It's true that Dice isn't as large as Haverstraw. In fact, it's only half its size. Haverstraw is an ever-expanding metropolis that acts like a vortex of light and just keeps getting brighter. Businesses have numerous tax benefits, especially for entrepreneurs. And as a result, Imagineers, inventors, and optimists run to the city through a figurative open door. Haverstraw carries a sense of wonder and an open future on every ray of sunshine in its cloudless sky. In fact, as you traveled from Dice to Haverstraw, the sun progressively shines more and more as it rains less and less. Cafe just released a single entitled The Sun Sets in Haverstraw to commemorate the beautiful evening vista, and we've got it. It went double platinum in Dice, but just didn't make the top 50 in Haverstraw. Oh well.
As you can see, Mr. Carice, the property fits your previously aforementioned needs. It's far away from the city. There are no nearby restaurants or parks. It's as secluded as your specifications require.
Yeah, okay. It's Carrie's. It is far out from the city. I do like that. It's a nice break from all the hustle and bustle of the big city. And I guess the view of Haverstraw skyline isn't so bad either.
What's that single that Cafe made? I can't remember it.
Oh yeah, the sun sets in Haverstraw. Oh, why don't you give it a shot? Sing it for me.
No, I'm afraid singing is beyond my skill set.
You should try it sometime. I heard it helps with stuttering.
Shall we inspect the property?
We shall. I have a question. Why'd you park the car so far away from the warehouse?
I wanted to show you the amount of open space you had access to. Not only for parking, but also for how far the buildings are from one another. The individual privacy for each property is substantial. As you can see, the other warehouses are barely within view.
I see. That makes sense. I don't even see them.
Now, Mr. Carries, I'd like to show you the first security measure these warehouses provide.
Those are interesting locks.
4-inch thick steel sliding bars. They all come with key that prevents tampering. Without them, entrance or exodus from the warehouse is quite impossible.
Impossible because it's the only entrance and exit?
Precisely. Shall we inspect further, or would you like to see another property?
No. I'd like to continue. It wasn't my first choice, but it's growing on me.
Very good, sir. I must warn you that if we continue on with this property, I will not have time for another inspection today. I have an appointment that I must leave at 6 o'clock to reach on time. In fact, it'll be another year before I can ever return to this property in time. I have such a large workload.
I understand. That's how these things go. I hope you make it.
The square footage is 25,000 square feet. There is one main generator and 3 backup generators.
Wow! You could collect cars in here.
You really could, Mr. Carries. Is that something you are looking into developing for your business? Classic automotive memorabilia?
No, just fantasizing, I suppose. Trying to imagine what it could be. Still just doesn't seem quite right. I mean, is this it? It doesn't seem private enough.
Yes, of course, Mr. Carries. How foolish of me. Please follow me to the office at the back wall of the property. This office is as cozy 12 square feet. There is a steel desk soldered onto the floor at the corner space.
Why? That's useless, some stupid desk in the corner of the small room. I just mean at least with a normal desk, I could move it, wherever I wanted in the room,
The desk itself is a distraction, Mr. Carries. Sorry.
You got it right that time.
Please observe.
It's a hidden elevator? Oh, I like that.
I hoped you might. We are being lowered to a basement floor, the same square footage as the above warehouse. There is only one way in or out. If you would kindly step off the elevator.
Oh, where's the elevator button? Where? I don't see one.
This was a military installation of some kind. VPI had a contract with the government that, try as I might, I cannot seem to find any more information on. They had posted guards on the top floor and security down here. The two would call the other by radio when evacuation was necessary. Of course, you may decide to post your own security for your own enterprise. But for now, I have installed a two-way handheld receiver that will recall the elevator. I keep it in my coat at all times.
I see. It's pretty dark down here.
It is. There are 3 settings for illumination at the first steel beam, just there at the edge of the dull elevator area lighting. If you will follow me.
Looks like I can make out some machinery down here.
You have excellent night vision, Mr. Carries. You are correct. Again, I must apologize. I have scoured every bit of paperwork I can find, and yet I am unable to ascertain the property's former use.
It would seem they were involved in some sort of post-mortem vocation. These are stainless steel tables with galvanized polished shelving. And that's a bone hammer. The tables have a steel lip to stop the blood, bile, or intestinal fluid from secreting onto the floor.
Yeah, that's just what it looks like,
You again are correct, Mr. Carries. There does appear to be medical equipment. However, on the eastern wall, there is machinery equipment, blow torches, and fuel. Even the northern wall has cages of varying sizes.
Did you say cages?
I did.
Can I inspect them? I would like to. I need to know what kind of shape they're in. Is that okay?
You can, but we must be quick. I have an appointment to keep.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Okay. It won't take long. I promise.
The cages are made of reinforced steel. The locks are 3 inches thick. The openings are wide enough to see through, but not so wide that a claw or paw could extend out.
Claw or paw, huh? I do look sturdy. I'm just worried about some of this rust. Broker, you're a large and muscular man. Why don't you help me verify the integrity of the cages?
Mr. Carries, we really should be going soon. I have an appointment I need.
If I can't verify the quality of the cages, I think I'll need to pass on the property.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Carries. I had no idea the cages were integral to the sale of the property. Quickly, what should I do? What would you like me to do?
Get inside and push it as hard as you can. I need to see if it'll open, even a little.
Very well.
Wait. Yeah. We better take off your coat. We wouldn't want to get rust stains on it, now would we?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Mr. Carries.
Okay, now push it as hard as you can. It seems sturdy. How about a couple of kicks?
I believe the cages are sound, Mr. Carries.
It looks that way.
Just a second.
Mr. Carries. Mr. Carries. Please keep in mind the time, Mr. Carries. 5:43. 5:46. Oh, 5:48. Mr. Carries, are you there? Oh, good. Mr. Carries, I was nervous there for a moment.
I had to find the blowtorch and the fuel. Did you think I left you?
I must admit, I was getting a little impatient about missing my appointment.
Oh, you have to be the dumbest man in Dice. You're trapped in there. You're all alone in the middle of nowhere.
With no one to know you're missing.
Excuse me. How would you know if anyone would miss me or not?
I looked you up. I was told you were the only realtor in all of Dice. I didn't believe it. There's no way one man can handle all of the property sales in the city, I said. Still, I checked you out. Sure enough, it's all you. Every document, every sales sign, the broker! At first, I was really thinking about buying a property from you. I work in finance, after all, in the city, but my hobby, my passion is torture. Torture that makes people scream! It's like a symphony or succulent meal for me. Lately, Sam, the doorman at my building, has been getting suspicious, and I like Sam. I don't want to kill him yet. No. He deserves something special. Anyway, I realized that since you work alone, I could just check out a property that was far away from everything else and kill you there. Well, here.
Mr. Carries, is that what you're concerned about, is your anonymity? I assure you that we can easily fix that to your specifications. I can provide you with a false identity, a pseudonym. You would not be the first client I have worked with that required such delicate legal maneuvering. In fact, I just sold a property near the Lucky Penny nightclub to a Mr. Body. He too has proclivities that are none of my business.
You could really set that up? Would you be able to provide temporary contractors?
Of course. My working contacts are extensive.
Okay, how would you keep them from becoming suspicious?
That's a simple matter of hiring different contractors for different jobs. Those jobs will appear mundane because of being disconnected from the overall project. I will split invoice numbers into separate categories until all the separate projects are completed. Once combined, it would be to your specifications per the usual.
Well, of course, but how would you account for the adjuster documentation requirements?
Mr. Carries, I am a professional. You really don't need to worry yourself with these details. In all your research, did you ever come across my name?
Your name? No. No, I didn't.
Think about that. You are a financial expert. Someone who knows how to pore over the minutiae of paperwork. And yet, you did not find me. That is because I am the broker. That is all I am. I am not a judge, a policeman, or an assessor of your moral compass. I am simply the broker.
I must admit, that is true. Additionally, I have to say that is a heck of a sales pitch. I am the broker. That is a good line. It's a good line. You know what? I think I'm going to use that one. And what? You won't need it. What with you being, well, gone and all. Besides, what do I need you for? I can use this location for whatever I want because, well, you won't be around to enforce any sort of squatter's rights injunction. Ugh. Will you?
That would be inadvisable, Mr. Carries. The Dice City has a strict squatters' rights laws. I would advise against that. If you are interested in the property, we can return to my car and sign the paperwork today. We really should hurry, though. It's nearly 6 o'clock.
You and your stupid schedule! Oh, I'm gonna enjoy this. Mr. Carries emptied the large fuel container into the cage. It soaked every piece of the broker's clothing, and even his hair. The broker offered no protest or fear in response. Instead, he just tapped his watch and lamented the closeness of 6 o'clock. His voice carried no pleading undertones, rather just calm, informing to Mr. Carey's of the time. Mr. Carey's ignored his enumerating until finally, the blowtorch lit. Mr. Carey's knelt down to peer through the steel cage's small openings and lit the broker on fire. The broker did not scream. In fact, he made no motion or sound of pain at all. He simply crossed his legs in front of him and perished. Mr. Carey's watched in anticipation of the inevitable scream. It never came. Instead, the broker's muscles went limp silently when he expired. Mr. Carey's took from the broker's jacket the radio emitter and paused. He took in a deep breath, desperate to savor his unfulfilled fantasy.
It's just not the same!
How could he not scream? Oh, the pain would have been so amazing. It's impossible. He didn't scream at all. I need my scream.
Mr. Carey stopped a few feet from the open exit to the warehouse. The light from the sun setting through the opening made a straight line just in front of his feet. Mr. Carey tilted his head to the ceiling and closed his eyes softly. I think Sam might be working tonight. I wonder what time he gets off his shift. We could come here tonight for that matter.
Will you be procuring the property, Mr. Carey's?
Mr. Carey's was jolted from his dreadful mental fantasy by a familiar voice. His eyes darted quickly to the exit, but could only make out an outline. The sunset behind the figure only illuminating his bulky edges. The figure walked towards Mr. Carey, stopping directly in front of him.
I'm sorry, maybe you didn't hear me. Will you be buying the property, Mr. Carey's? If so, we should go now, as it is almost 6 o'clock.
Shut up! Quit telling me the time! I know it's 6 o'clock, you idiot!
Mr. Carey's grabbed the broker and pummeled him mercilessly. He bloodied his knuckles on his face. He stood up and stomped on his hands and feet, shattering the bones. And all the broker would say was,
Mr. Carey, we have to go. It's almost 6 o'clock.
I know! It's 6 o'clock! Come on! Scream for me! Scream!
Mr. Carey, is the property unsatisfactory? Somehow we can schedule another visit at a separate location if you want, but it will have to be on another day.
Shut up!
Finally, the broker expired from blood loss, just as silently as before. A shadow stepped into the light again. Before it even had a chance to speak, Mr. Carey's grabbed the figure and continued his enraged tirade. Blow after blow after blow continued, intermingled with broken professional speech. Mr. Carey's was now covered in the blood of the brokers, and he stared at them at the floor. He watched them without blinking, half expecting them to rise.
Get up!
But they didn't. Of course they didn't. They were dead, after all. Suddenly, The light progressively disappeared. Piece by piece, it was replaced by shadow. Mr. Carey slowly raised his eyes to the warehouse door. The sight he saw scared him. There were nearly 30 identical brokers standing there motionless. They each wore the same aviator glasses, the same orange hue tie, and the same bulky, robust physique underneath.
No, 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 why won't you? Why won't you scream?
Is it the location, Mr. Carey's? Perhaps it's the size. Is it too small or too large? There are smaller warehouses nearby. If this is about the broker fee, I am willing to forego it, Mr. Carey's. I just want to make sure you're satisfied with your We are out of time, Mr. Carey. We must go now. I have a schedule to keep.
5 of the brokers stepped past the warehouse door with arms open. They each attempted to help guide Mr. Carey's outside, but he refused, viciously beating each calm one of them to death. Mr. Carey's becoming more and more enraged with each silent death. The remaining brokers shook their heads and closed the warehouse door. Once closed, they locked the 5 stainless steel bars and walked back to their own identical cars. In the distance, the sun could be seen setting behind the Haverstraw skyline.
Poor Mr. Carey. I told him I needed to get to my appointment by 6 o'clock. Oh my, I really must be going. It was good to see you all. Good evening. If it's the last thing you ever saw, let it be the sun setting in Haverstraw. Huh.